Hello, welcome to Fox Manor Vintage. In this video, I'll be sharing with you how I transformed my family room into a cozy, inviting little nest for winter. Because I'm a lover of the English country style, I really wanted to do my interpretation of that in this room. And I'm really drawn to the English country style because I love layers, I love pattern and color, and I love rooms that look collected and have lots of interesting items that look like they were passed down from generation to generation. So I really wanted that feeling and that look for this room. This is what we call our wintering room. It has the fireplace, it has the TV. So we spend probably 80% of our time during the colder months in this room and in the kitchen, which is right next to it. We've been in this house for over 20 years, so the furniture that is in this room has been here for some time. I did add some pieces just to make the room more functional, more cozy, more inviting, and also so I would have space to display my books and a lot of the little items that I collected over the years. So let me take you back to the beginning of the week when I started this makeover and walk you through what I did. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a little tour of how the room looks now and also show it to you when the fireplace is lit, when the candles are lit, so you can see just how cozy and inviting it turned out. Before I show you my family room, I want to share some of the pictures that I found on Pinterest that really helped guide my vision for this room and gave me a lot of inspiration for things to incorporate into my own makeover. Let me show you how the room looks now. So this is me going from the kitchen into our family room. Of course, the focal point of the room is the fireplace. It is gas. Right now I just have a mirror on it and I have some vases. Haven't really done much with the mantle. Haven't done much with the walls on either side of the fireplace. Over the years, we've considered doing different things, which is why I really haven't done much with them. At one point, we were considering putting windows on either side of the fireplace, but we have recently decided against that because there really isn't much of a view on that side of the house. We would just be looking into the neighbor's house, and that doesn't really seem to be worth the expense to put windows there. Now, since I'm going for that English country aesthetic in this room, another idea was to put built-in bookcases going from the ceiling all the way to the floor. Unfortunately, because my fireplace is not like bumped out, and also the mantle juts out into the wall, that would be a hard thing to do. I would probably have to modify my mantle in some way to be able to do that. And again, that's just not something that I want to take the expense to do. So the fireplace is definitely a feature in the room that I want to highlight. On this wall, I have started a gallery wall, which is very iconic for the English country home aesthetic. My favorite piece, which is the big one in the middle, is this beautiful tapestry that I purchased from eBay a couple years ago. It's a large tapestry and I do believe it's an antique. I got it for $60 because there is some discoloration on it. I don't know if you can see the green discoloration on the top and also in other places of the tapestry. It came just the tapestry, and my husband built the frame for me. So I made that the focal point of the gallery wall, and then I've added some other art on either side of it. But I think that wall is large enough that it can handle a few more pieces on either side. So I'm going to try to find some smaller frames, preferably something in an oval or round shape, to counteract a lot of the hard edges that are going on right now in the room. The largest piece of furniture is this sectional. We've had the sectional for over 20 years since we moved in, and it has survived 2 boys, 2 dogs, and now 2 cats. Of course, the cats are really doing a number on it, so which is where you see the tape on the bottom of it. That's just the places that the cats tend to scratch. So I have placed some of that sticky tape on those areas just to discourage the cats from destroying the sectional. I do love color, so I'm perfectly okay with it being this deep burgundy color. So I'm definitely keeping that. Coffee table was thrifted for $15 from Goodwill. And I like that it's a round shape because, again, a lot of the other things in the room are rectangles or squares. I also have this beautiful vintage rug, which is a wool rug. It's very large. It's about 10 by 14 feet, and it covers the majority of the floor, which I love. This rug really grounds the room, and it makes a very good foundation for the other pieces that I'm hoping to bring in for that English country style. I have the TV here. I'm not going to attempt to disguise the TV in any way. I know that's very popular right now. And my husband made this TV stand many, many years ago, and that's staying as well. And then on this little corner, I have this desk where I usually work at. And I'm hoping to style this a little bit more because I find that if you don't style a surface, it tends to just become a magnet for clutter. So I'm hoping to do something with it. I've collected a lot of items, books, and other decorative elements over the years just because I already had this makeover in mind. So I'm hoping to use a lot of those in the room. So that's the room right now. And again, I'm going for that English country house look. I hope that at the end of the makeover, I will step into this room and feel like I've been transported back to the English countryside. So let's see how successful I am. The first two new items to the room are these bookshelves. While my dream of floor-to-ceiling bookcases is not going to be a reality, I think these are a nice compromise. My husband made these several years ago for our home office, and I'm decluttering that space because it has way too much furniture in there. So I think that these will work well here. They'll still give me plenty of space for books and for other decor. I have some collections that I want to put on these shelves. So I think that this is a good compromise. Before I start filling the bookcases with books, I'm going to move them so I can plug in these lamps. So they are mismatched, but I think that kind of makes it more interesting. So I'm going to put one on top of each of the bookcases. I really like to see little pockets of light throughout the room. The major light source right now is the light from the fan, which is not very cozy or inviting. So I'm going to try to have different light sources around the room at different levels. I've gone around the house and I've collected all of the books that I want to find a place for in these bookshelves. I feel like the hardest part of this makeover is going to be just getting these shelves organized. I'm not going to overthink it too much. I just have to get these books in there. I'm going to leave spaces for the decorative objects that I want to include. So I'm going to focus just on making this as functional and as practical as possible. The majority of the books are on the bookshelves. There are still a lot of empty spots, and I'm hoping to use those for displaying my collections. Let me show you some of the collections that I have. I've been collecting dog figurines, so these are some of the ones that I'm hoping to use in the bookshelf. While I was in college, I also spent some time in Japan during an exchange program, and I lived with a Japanese family while I was there. So I purchased these two geisha figurines on one of our day trips to Kyoto. I want to include those. It's not really a collection since it's only two of them, but I do have very good memories associated with them. And then I also collect globes. So I have some globes here. bookends and just some freestanding globes that look old. I don't know how old they actually are, but I think they'll look really nice also among the books. One of the reasons why I enjoy English country style so much is because it's a style that really encourages the homeowner to display things that reflect their interests, reflect the places that they travel to, their hobbies, their collections. So I'm going to make full use of these bookshelves to do just that. I finished the shelves. I'm sure I broke all kinds of shelf decorating rules, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. So now I want to select some wall art for above the shelves. And I'm looking for some really stately looking art, so I was looking through my collection and I came across two pieces that I think will be perfect. The first one is this original oil painting. Now you come closer. So this is actually a very old oil painting. You can tell from the back. My husband bought this about 30 years ago at a yard sale, and I tried to do some research on the author. I haven't been able to really find much about it, but I like the moody quality of this. Not sure if these were the original colors. I mean, this is an old painting, so this may just be due to the age, and it's probably in need of being cleaned, but this is one of them. And for the other side, I have this one, which to me also looks like it's something that would probably be hanging in the wall of an old English country home. This one I purchased from Goodwill, I think for $5. It's just, it's just a print. It's nothing special, but I like the subject matter, the little children. So this is going to be what's going to go on either wall. For either side of the fireplace, I'm going to use one of these urns with a faux boxwood topiary on top. These are topiaries that I made myself many years ago. It's just a styrofoam ball, and then I used a garland, the boxwood garland that I bought on sale, and I just cut the little branches off of the garland and I stuck them into the styrofoam ball. It was that easy. Just to keep from having too much going on visually, I'm going to keep the mantle fairly simple, especially since I have this beautiful mirror that's already the focal point of the fireplace. The nice thing about these is that I can actually use real flowers in here if I chose to. I just remove this ball, the styrofoam ball. I can put a glass with water in there, and then I can use seasonal plants. I can use roses, I can use wildflowers from the back of my house, so this gives me a lot of versatility. The only other items I'm going to add to the mantle are these two figurines. I don't normally buy these when I'm out thrifting, but I was rummaging through some plastic bins at a flea market, and I came across these at the bottom of a bin, and they miraculously have no chips, no cracks. And when I checked the bottom, I don't know if you can see that, but it says made in occupied Japan. So these are quite old, and I was afraid that if I left them at the bottom of that bin, they were going to be broken for sure. Just the way things were. People were rummaging through the bins, throwing things out, throwing things in. So I felt like I had to rescue these. And I'm glad I did because I actually love them. And the colors work really well with everything else that I have going on in the room. And these are such an English thing to have in a room that I actually think they're going to complement the overall design really, really well. The scale may be a little off because these are pretty small and everything else on the mantle is fairly large, but I think they still work with the overall design of the room. This is how that back wall is looking so far. I have the bookshelves and the stately art above each of the shelves, and then I have the transferware plate above each of the pictures. I just felt that that wall is high enough that it needed that extra layer of decor. So that's why I decided to go with the plates. And of course, the mantle with the little figurines on either side of the urn. I think that looks really cute too. Another thing on my wish list for this room is to have a little reading nook here. Since it's right next to the fireplace and I have a bookshelf right here, I thought it would be perfect to put a chair there, to put an ottoman, a little table, and just make that into a comfy little nook that I could use when I'm reading. And because I really do need more seating in the room, all I have is the sectional. I'm going to add another chair to this side of the TV. Now I'm going to turn my attention to finishing the gallery wall. Whenever I'm out thrifting, I'm always looking for these art books that can be purchased for just a few dollars, and you can use these to create some really beautiful wall art. I was able to find several oval-shaped picture frames at Goodwill, as well as some smaller rectangular frames that I wanted to incorporate into the gallery wall just to add a little variety with the sizes and with the shapes. I ended up using a few of these for the gallery wall, and the rest I have upstairs in one of the guest rooms. The room is basically done. There are only a few more finishing touches that I want to add. And one of them is to make this gas fireplace look more like a real wood burning fireplace. So I was looking for a fireplace screen on Facebook Marketplace for several months and I couldn't find anything that I liked. They usually range from $30 to $60. So I was more than willing to pay that, but I just couldn't find a style that I felt would go well in the room. So one day I walk into Goodwill and I go to the furniture section, and this one is leaning against the wall. And it was priced at $14.99. So when I walked towards it, I'm like, I'm sure there's something wrong with it because for that price, there has to be something wrong with it. But I opened it, both of the panels are intact. It is metal, it has this beautiful scroll work throughout. So I couldn't believe my luck because I was willing to pay twice as much, even 3 times as much, for just the right screen. And here I found it for $15. So this is going to go in front of the fireplace, and hopefully it will give it a more realistic look. So my other fireplace accessory is going to be this basket that I also thrifted. This is a really nice, sturdy, large size basket, and I'm going to use it to place some logs in it. Again, to create that illusion that this is a wood burning fireplace. Now, because this is just for show and I don't have that much wood, I just put a cardboard box at the bottom. And these are just logs that I got from the backyard. Just gonna put them in there. I hope I have enough. And I have a bellows that I also thrifted sometime this fall. So let's see how that looks. The next area I want to tackle is this huge sectional that we have here. I know this doesn't scream English country style, but it is very comfortable and very practical. So this is going to stay for now. So my goal is to cover it with pillows. And that's just another way for me to add more pattern, more layers, more color. So I have a tower of pillows here. And the main pillows that I'm going to use are these huge pillows that I thrifted. There are 3 of them. And they've already been washed. Whenever I thrift big things like this, quilts, big pillows, these wouldn't fit in my washer. So there is a laundromat close to my house that has those large capacity washers and dryers. So I always take things there when I can't do it in my own washing machine at home. So these have been washed, sanitized, and they're going to be placed on the sofa, on the sectional, I should say. And they're quite perfect because they have the burgundy color of the sectional, and they also have a lot of blue, which the Persian rug has. So I think they tie everything together very nicely. I have a sleeping kitty over there, which I really hate to disturb him to fix the pillows, but I think I don't have a choice. Oliver, you have to wake up. Can you nap somewhere else for now? Come on, let's go. I finished my family room just in time. We have a snowstorm moving in tomorrow, and we should get about 3 to 5 inches of snow. Since tomorrow is a Sunday, you know where you can find me. I will be here enjoying the fireplace, reading a good book, enjoying my gallery wall. It's going to be a good day. This definitely took longer than I expected. I had most of the things already, but it still took a while just to figure out where everything was going to go, where I could add more pattern, more layers. I was really going for that English country look, which is not a minimalist look, as you know. There's a lot of stuff, which is what gives it that warm, cozy, inviting feeling that I was going for. I think the gallery wall really needed those few extra pieces on the end. I like how it starts big in the middle and then gradually the art becomes smaller towards the edges. Of all of the furniture pieces that I added to the room, my favorite are definitely these bookshelves. I just think they completely changed the room. And I'm really excited to have a place where I can have all my vintage books, all my little collections displayed. And because it's on the same wall as the fireplace, it's the first thing that people notice when they walk into the room. About 80% of all of the items that I used in this room were either thrifted, handed down from family members, or made by me or by my husband. So don't let a limited budget discourage you from creating a room that you love and a home that you love. You can do it by thrifting. It does take patience. It's not going to happen overnight, but it is so worth the effort. And in the end, you'll have a home that is unique to you, that will look like no one else's home. And that's really a wonderful gift that you can give yourself and your family. I think I accomplished everything that I set out to do with this room makeover. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I don't have any formal training in interior design. I just do this as a hobby. So I'm always very eager to learn from other people who have more experience than me. And you always leave such clever feedback on my videos. So I'm really looking forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope to see you in future videos.